I had an Instagram friend reach out to me recently, and he was asking if I thought it was possible to take off-season pieces from his wardrobe, different menswear pieces, and use them in another season. So for example, could he use spring and summer pieces for fall and winter ensembles? I think you can, and we're going to talk about that today. Let me start off by saying I think when you're beginning your menswear journey, you do need to go for more of a capsule wardrobe approach. What I mean by that is you want very versatile pieces that you can mix and match, and that applies to not just colors but also the season. So for example, instead of a light cream linen suit, maybe you want to go with something more like a navy tropical wool, something you can wear at least summer through fall. I would say spring through fall, probably not winter, but that light cream linen, you're only going to really wear that in the summer. So keep that in mind as you're building out your wardrobe in the beginning. As you expand and you get more pieces and you start to really understand your style and your fit, then you can go into some of those more unique niche pieces. But let's move on. If you take a look at what I'm wearing here today, really none of these pieces are fall or winter pieces, except maybe the tie. We'll get to that in a moment. Now that said, I do think this looks appropriate for fall weather, and we're going to go over piece by piece on why individually they are not fall winter pieces, and also why I think this all actually works together as a fall ensemble. So let's start right up at the top with the jacket that I'm wearing. So this is actually an unlined wool jacket from Spear & McKay. It's fairly lightweight, but the color lends itself well to four-season wear. What I mean by that is this kind of darker, kind of a slate blue that I have going on here. So even though you think blue is a cooler color, it's commonly seen in winter. Darker blues. It's not like a sky blue or something very, very light colored. When you have something in this range, it's something that you're used to seeing year-round. The other thing that makes this jacket work pretty well for fall and winter are the patch pockets. Again, this is something that we've kind of grown accustomed to seeing on, I think, a tweed jacket or something like that. So it's a little more casual. Actually, let's talk about that for a moment. If you're going to mix pieces from different seasons, you probably don't want to try to get too formal, at least in the beginning. That can be done with a little more experience, a little more knowledge of the overall look you're going for and how the pieces work together. But I think in the beginning, it's usually going to work better if you shoot for a little more casual look. So again, the patch pockets lend themselves well to a more casual look. If you had something like a traditional flat pocket, or certainly like a welt pocket, that's going to look too dressy, I think, for the look we're going for here today. Moving on, let's take a look at the pants that I'm wearing here. So these are actually sold as a summer weight pant. They're actually a linen and wool blend. Again, linen, you think traditionally very summer wear, but with the wool in there, it gives them a little more weight, and it also makes them practically a little warmer. They also have a herringbone pattern, and I'll try to get some close-ups here. But the herringbone pattern, again, gives a little texture, gives a little interest, and allows it to work well as a fall or winter piece. Now we look at the shirt, and the shirt, I think, is where we really start to get that fall feel, and the main reason is the color. So getting away from the blues, the very cool colors, we're getting into a much warmer color, which ironically, warm color, it works well for fall. Think oranges, browns, things like that. Cool season is what I mean by that. So this has it's a beige, kind of a tan white stripe. Also, I'm going to get a little closer so you can see there's a little bit of a texture to the shirt. It's a waffle weave. This one's from Proper Cloth, and again, it gives it a warmer feel. So I think this starts to give this a much more fall look as a total ensemble. Next we have what is really the only fall piece that I'm wearing, and that's the tie. This is from the Dark Knot, and it's a wool tie. Got a little plaid pattern to it. And again, I'm gonna get a little closer. You can see there's a little bit of green in this tie, which I've paired with the pocket square, which is a green wool. I believe this one's from OTA. But the two wool pieces here really add that fall winter look, both in the warmth of the wool, the thick coarse texture, but also the color palette, right? These look more like fall winter colors. They're not bright, summery, cool color palette. It's that warmer, darker fall winter vibe. Finally, we have the shoes, my watch, and my belt. I've matched all these together in a brown leather. I think brown sells the fall winter look a little better than if I went with black. Certainly better than if I went with something very light like a tan or a cognac. But, you know, matched all the leathers together. The simple, it's not a super dark brown, but a fairly dark brown cap-toe Oxford from Becca Simonon. I've got my Orient Bambino watch, which is, again, not super dressy, but appropriate with this ensemble with a tie. And then my Anson belt in matching brown leather. All that I think kind of brings that cohesive look of the fall winter style that we're looking for. It also complements the tie, the pocket square, the shirt, right? Just ties everything together so we don't have too much of one color, but we have, you know, really just two color families. Well, I guess you could say three. We've got the browns and creams, right? We've got the blues, then we have a little hint of green here. And again, I think it's seasonal appropriate. Well, there you have it. I think I've made my best case for whether or not we can mix spring and summer pieces and pull off a fall or winter outfit. Again, my opinion is yes, you can do that. I think I've demonstrated that here, but I'd love to hear all your feedback and your suggestions, your critiques even. Share what you think about this, and let me know if you'd like to see more of this kind of content.